All right, welcome back, YouTube. I actually had a request from one of the viewers to go over Little Big Man Transfer Studios, or Little Big Man Studios Transfers. Said that backwards. Uh, I am a huge fan of Little Big Man Transfers. They are my preferred transfer brand. They're a little bit more labor intensive than a traditional water slide, but I think the effect is the best and the quality is the best of them. So I actually have a selection. It just so happens that I'm at this point where I'm working on some Roman commanders, and I have 3 different types of shields for these guys. And these happen to all be Aventine shields. You can see here, the first step I would say is get an extremely good pair of embroidery scissors. So you have these guys right here, extremely sharp. You're going to want these to cut out the initial transfer. So I normally start, I'll just cut a rough square of the transfer, and then I'll go in and I'll detail cut around it. Now, if you saw my video complaining about the relic transfers, Little Big Man center punches the center shield boss on round shields. So you don't have to worry about that. It's already a perfect circle cut. So I didn't do those. Those were all center punched by Little Big Man. So that is quite nice. So once you have it cut out, you'll have something like this. And you still might have some white, but anytime you use a shield decal, going back in with the same color paint to touch up the edges of the shield, that's just unavoidable. Same thing with flags, when you do flags as well for armies that have flags. So I'm going to do one right in front of you, and then I'm going to show kind of like how they work for other ones. Now, this is a Republican Roman Scutum, also Little Big Man, also for an Aventine shield. You can see here, there's the shield, it's naked. Now, once you have the transfer cut out, you're going to want to go through the transfer depending on the shield type. Like I said, if it's a round shield like a Aspis type deal, there won't be anything to cut out besides the actual just the round edges of the transfer, or like a medieval shield where there's nothing in the middle. But if it's a Celtic shield, a Roman shield, anything like that, I guess a Thracian style shield, you're going to have to cut out the spine and the boss for the shield. And the best way to do that is once you have the initial transfer cut out, or even before you cut it out, you could too. You want to get an extremely sharp hobby knife, like so. This is the one I use. It has removable blades, so I can switch out the blades on it. And you want to make sure your blade's really, really, really sharp and fresh. And you're just gonna, as carefully as you can, cut that out in the middle. Now you can see here, I did a really good job with this one. I pretty much did it perfect. I don't always get them this good, but that's okay, because like I said, we can touch them up afterwards if you don't get it quite that good. But you really want to make sure when you're cutting out the center for the shield bossing and the spine, that you do the best job you can. So once you have the outer edge of the decal cut out from the sheet, and then you do any of the the shield bosses that you need to do, the next step is to take your shield and prime it white. A really light gray will work, an off-white or pure white. It doesn't really matter. They all work. I've used all 3. A dark gray will not work, but you wanna prime your shield white. Okay. I go ahead at this step too, and depending on what color transfer I'm using, especially for like my Romans and my Greek stuff, I will paint the back of the shield as well with my airbrush. You can see here I'm doing a yellow shield transfer for this shield. And this is for a Vexillarius, a Roman standard bearer. So it's going to be a yellow shield, so I just painted the back yellow. But yeah, if I was doing a red shield transfer, the back of the shield would be red. You don't want to put this on over a naked shield. like this. You really want to prime the shield first with a white or off-white color. So once that's done, unlike a traditional water slide, there's a film on the front of these shields with an adhesive, and you're going to peel that off. Essentially, you're going to line it up the best you can. You might want to practice it before you do it, and then you're going to stick it on in there like so. Okay, now I'm not going to do that on camera because I will inevitably mess it up, and I don't want to mess it up because shield transfers are kind of expensive. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do it off camera, and then I'm going to show you the next step. And it should only take a few seconds to do it. This is, I will show, this is the film. It separates. You can see it right there. And generally how I do it is I'll line up one edge and then just go from like one edge straight down the middle. And you press it on there firmly so the white back is still going to be on there. Okay? You still have that white backing paper that's still on there. And then at this point, you're just going to get an old brush here. You're just like so. You're going to soak it in just some regular water. And you're just going to soak the entire shield transfer. And you're going to leave it for about 20-30 seconds maybe. Not that long. Maybe a minute at most. But while we do that, because of the hard adhesive layer, you're going to have to use some. This is a concave Greek shield, so you're going to have to afterwards use water or some setting solutions. And I've showed these before. I'll show them again. Microsol and Microset, to get the decal to conform to that concave surface, right? Because this is a roundish concave surface. It won't matter on flat shields like I'm doing for that Vexillum bear, for the Roman standard bear, the Vexillaris. But for concave shields like Roman Scutums and hoplite shields, you will have to get it in there. So we're getting there, and you can always go back through and wet it again. You don't want it to be too dry. It should be thoroughly soaked, so that way the backing paper can peel off there. So you can see here, this is an Aspis one that I just did. I didn't cut it out the best, you can see, but that's okay. What I'm going to do is I'm going to paint the edges of the shield, the rim of the shield, black to match the black bordering there. And it'll more or less look fine, especially from 3 to 6 feet away, and it'll be good to go. And you're going to have to do touch-up. Occasionally you might get them like 99% perfect, but I'm pretty sure I've never done a shield where I haven't had to touch it up. And I've done literally hundreds upon hundreds of shield transfers from little big man at this point. Like, all my Romans have them. My Greeks have them. Like, all sorts of guys have them. So, but yeah. And little big man has a huge selection for companies out there. So once you think it's good, and I think it's pretty much good at this point, the backing paper should more or less just come off, and you want to peel it carefully. Okay? And then with that same brush that you were using, you want to get any bubbles out of the shield transfer. So just pat it. You can use the decal setting solution as well. I have a bubble, and I'm just gonna. You're not gonna be able to see it. Oh no, my bubble isn't wanting to go. think this might be a not that good. This might be a busted decal because it seems like it's not sticking. It's not adhesing. Kind of did. That's okay. Let's get some softening solution here, and that's okay. Usually I don't have to use this on the little big mans, but that's okay. We're just gonna brush it. I'm trying to get out this air bubble, but I think it's a bad decal. And that almost never happens with these little big mans. I've had extremely good luck with them where you don't normally have this kind of, I don't know if the camera's picking it up. You kind of see it if I tilt it right there towards my fingernail. There's just a little air bubble. And it's not wanting to work itself out. Well, I think that's about as good as I'm going to get this one, unfortunately. But as you can see, the edges of the shield, it didn't match up perfectly. I'm going to have to go back through and do some touch-ups on the edges of the shield here, and that's okay. That'll happen. Like I said, you almost never get them perfect, and they're not generally sized to be 100% perfect anyways. It's like you're going to have to go back through there and do it. So I would let that dry for 10 to 20 minutes, and then I go back through, and when it's 100% dry, I'll go back through and I will touch that up with the appropriate paint. So that's what it looks like to do it. This is what it'll look like when it's dried and ready to be. And you can see it is a satin glossy finish. You can either use solution for that, the solution I showed you, or you can just, what I normally do is I just use my matte varnish, and it takes that sheen right off at the very, very end, because I always put a protective layer of matte varnish on all of my miniatures, especially metal miniatures, and that'll take the sheen right off. So I hope you guys found this this video a little useful, at least for the one guy that asked for it. But that's how you do little big man studio transfers. So you know, until next time, guys, keep on painting.